I am excited to see you today. Not that I really see you, but to be with you. This is day 4 of a 21 day to life program because some of us said every year we go through the same process. We think that this year is going to be different, but quickly we fall into old thoughts, old behaviors, old habits that put us right back where we were before. So we said to ourselves, let's do a process where we do this together. We know that if you do things consistently over time, it is more likely that they become good habits. We've had enough of bad habits. Now we want to develop good habits together. So, again, welcome and thank you for being here. You could be laying in bed sleeping, you could be at Cracker Barrel eating a meal, but instead you chose to join us. And I want you to know that in joining us, this 21 day program, we could have easily said, I'm going to give you all 21 questions up front and let you work through it. But there is something about the discipline and the commitment that comes with getting together every single day. It is like exercise, and you can't do all the exercise on one day and think you're going to sustain the body that you need. You have to do it repetitively, consistently. And for that reason, I am glad that you are committing to this. And so here's the thing, you've made this commitment. I want to tell you, you are awesome. You are superior. You are committed. You are amazing. And you are going to have the best year ever. I want to pour that into you because what I've learned in working with my clients is oftentimes people are not poured into enough. And you never know who needs to hear a good word. Um, so, what I'm going to ask you this morning is if you can have a moment in the chat, can you just pour a good word in there? Can you speak life over the people who are participating in this program? Can you just say something that's kind, that it might hit another person in a way that just uplifts their whole day? Somebody texted me out of the blue yesterday and gave me a message about the program, but also a message over my life. And she just didn't know that at that moment, it's the air that I needed to breathe. And so you never know what comments some people may make. Hello, Cynthia. I'm glad you're with us this morning. And I thank you too for sharing the commitment that you've made to this program. So, again, over the course of this time we have together, if you get a moment, breathe life into someone else. Put a message in there that's going to uplift them, and encourage them any way that you can. All right. So I want to go back and review a little bit about what we've done just quickly because this is a building process. Everybody has their workout book. So I call it a workout book. It's a workbook. And it is those 6 pages that we gave you to make it through this process. If you don't have it, let us know. But I want you to know that not only are you going through this and completing this process, but so am I. So when you have your workbooks, I want to share with you what mine looks like. And y'all, we're going to get this technology right today because you deserve it. So I'm pulling up to you for you what the booklet looks like. Now, look, my book has some writing on it. And what is that? I decided that on that very first page, I would remind myself as to why I'm doing this. And so at the top, I wrote, why now? I'm ready for something different and tired of wasting time. This every day that I have to get up and do this and put it together and get ready for you and put myself out here because this is being vulnerable. I am reminding myself that it's time to do something different and I am no longer going to waste time. So, on your own workbooks, if you get a chance, I want you to put your why, and that why is going to guide us as we complete this process together. All right, so remember that the first page gives you an overview of what it is that we are doing together. And the second page is what I'm calling our declarations page. And over this 21 days, you will fill out each of these 9 blocks. Already, what we did is when we named our word for 2025, we went in and used that word to make a power statement. So make sure that so far in your guidebooks, that on page 2, that you actually put your power statement. For mine, I said, I will first look to my light so that I can walk in the light, reflect it to others, and be light. after giving all my burdens over to Him. This declaration is something that I'm going to keep speaking over myself and over my life in 2025. So, again, so far, you should have that center block filled with your word and the declaration you're making because of that word. We got some more blocks to fill, but it's a process, remember? And so each day you'll come, and by day one, you'll write what the question is. Um, the question I asked you is what word reflects who you will be in 2025. That's the question I asked for day one. But notice that for me, I'm personalizing the question. So instead of saying who will you be, I'm saying who will I be in 2025. And here's where kept my little notes. Um, in the beginning, when I wrote it at that first day, I put the number one, seeking God first. But when I thought about it and I came back by the end of the day, I added number two and three. And that's what we're doing every day. We're putting our initial answer and then adding anything by the end of the day because we want this to be a process that's about reflection. And then you'll see again, second day, I went in, I wrote, what am I running from in 2024 and running to in 2025? And then that leads us to yesterday's question, who am I now? And I asked you to put down the words, the roles, anything that would describe you, the good and the bad. So you'll see that I said that I'm a wife, a mom, a visionary, creative, a warrior, child of God, leader, follower, a mess, kind hearted, a pain, if you mess with me, introvert, insecure, tired, hopeful, and an other. We talked about that yesterday, so I'm not going to revisit it. But what I'm going to say in this moment is I need you to look at your list of who are you now. You've described yourself, you said everything that's important to you, but now I want you to boil it down to three things that mean the most to you, that mean the most to your identity. If you were to look at this list and say, well, I'm not going to say I'm a pain. The introvert is not as important, but yes, that visionary piece, that child of God, that's important to me. And I need you to circle the three areas that are most important to your identity. And if you look, you'll see that for me, I went ahead and highlighted it. And I said, the wife slash mom, visionary, and child of God. And so you see, for me, I've begun to do the process that I'm asking you to do. So when you think about the three, the ways you've described yourself, who are you now? I need to know the three things that are most important to your identity. It might be hard to choose them, but in this moment, I need you to pick those three. And not only to pick those three, but for those of you who are willing, could you share one or two of three of those with the rest of us? Can you put it in the chat that this is, I am I'm going to say wife slash mom so I can get three. That becomes one of the three. So put in the chat, I am a wife slash mom, or I am this, because that declaration is so very important. Is anybody willing to share with us and put who you are? Because part of this process for 2025 is to stand firmly and boldly in who we are. We said the process for this week involves us really looking at who are we really. And I think too many times we allow the world to define who we are. We allow people to say, you're this, you're that, and you're the other. And we listen too much to those voices. What I need you to listen to now is that voice inside yourself who advocates for you, who loves you, and should be your voice. So, who are you? Are you willing to share that? If so, I would love for you to put that in the chat. As you do so, here's what I want you to know today that um, a lot of us are guided by this little voice in our head. Now, let me know if you've ever heard that voice. That when you choose to do something, you choose to put yourself out there, you choose to be who you think you should be, that little voice says, I don't know why you're doing this. You're not going to make it. That little voice says, who do you think you are? That little voice says, this is not going to work out for you. What's that little voice that you're hearing that actually speaks to you and says, hey? Stop it. Don't try. Don't go further. What I'm going to tell you, when growing up, we learned that the word "shut up" is not a good word. It's not something that nice people use. But this is a case where I'm going to say, tell that voice to shut the heck up. That voice that's telling you all of that negative that hits against you, that voice, I want you to tell that voice, shut up. And that because that voice is not of you, that voice is not you, and that voice is not going to be what carries you through 2025. And what our goal is to do as we talk about who are you really is to replace that voice with the powerful voice that is you. In the whole heart process, we talk about living intentionally, fearlessly, and expectantly. That is life. Living it is an action word. Intentional means I choose. Fearless means I have the courage to do it even if I'm scared. And expectantly says I'm expecting the good. Hear that voice? Hear that voice? That voice is what uplifts us. But you know what? The voice I told you that needs to shut up, that's often the voice of death. And at Whole Heart, we tell people that death is destructive emotions, actions, thoughts, and habits. My question to you, my friends, today is what's the destructive emotions, actions, thoughts, and habits that oftentimes are speaking in your ear that you need to tell to shut the heck up? Part of us working this out this 21 days is we are going to silence that voice and uplift the right voice. We are going to speak life instead of death. We are going to claim who we are and claim the roles that we play. So that's why I'm excited, just even as it's popping up on my screen, the many things that you are actually sharing. And as you share that with me, you say, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm a grandmother. Those things are giving life and giving me a reason to smile. Kim says, I'm a God fearing woman, a widow. I'm impatient. How you say you're impatient? Go ahead, girl. Claim it all. You know what? Because you can also redeem. There's two sides to everything. If I'm impatient, that also means that I don't let things fall under my feet. I'm quick and I go, if that's what she meant by that. But I want you to keep making those declarations because it's so very important. So, what I'm saying to you today is remember, we have to speak life. I am love. I am worthy. I am fierce. Go. Yes, go. I love it. So, let's keep speaking that life. And I'm going to tell you this, once we start learning to keep speaking that life over ourselves, it becomes easier and easier to speak that life over other people. And so that's also part of what we bring to the table is when we can feel that goodness ourselves, when we can feel positive about ourselves, we can begin to really and truly exude that to other people. So I'm excited that you are taking this. This is who I am. These are the three things that are most important to my identity. And don't forget that because tomorrow we're going to make a declaration that uses that and a little bit of what we do today. So I want you to take that information and remember we are building on this process. You are working those muscles out, and we are working those muscles out together. Um, so anyway, I'm excited and I'm thankful. So our next step is really, really, really to think about now that we think about who we are, the roles that we play, and I'm saying, who are you now? Many of us were, when I asked you to name um, the things that you are, who are you? We included both the positive and the negative, right? And I think that's good because we have to be able to see our good, but we also have to see the areas that we need to develop. And so it's good that we have both. What I notice though when I work with clients is that when I ask them to talk about themselves, sometimes they focus more on the negative than they do the positive. And not only that, have you ever noticed when you talk to a friend, you say, "Girl, that's a nice looking dress." And what does she say? "Oh, this whole thing is, I didn't even pay that much for it." We often deflect compliments because we have a hard time receiving and loving the good that's about us. You know what? I was speaking these sessions about my sister Tia, And I'm going to do it again because one of the things that I say is Tia was my first study in psychology, that I go on to get a psychology degree, but just understanding and watching her helped me to really understand people. And so when I was growing up, if you would have said to me, "Oh, Denise, you're cute, you got a cute little shape," I absolutely would not have been able to receive that. I would have thought that I no, I don't have a nice shape. I'm not cute. I'm not anything because I didn't have the self esteem. But yet, when I looked at my sister, and this was my interpretation because later she told me there was a lot behind that. But when I looked at her, you couldn't tell her she wasn't the best thing since sliced bread. Now, if you told her she was cute, she would receive that thank you because she agreed with it too. And so, two women born of the same two people, raised in the same household, but our perspectives on ourselves was so different. Now, again, Tia had some things that she was working on behind the scenes that I didn't know, but I always admired her ability to kind of take that compliment in and believe in herself. And I think that's one of the things that we often do where we don't really take the time to believe in and love ourselves. So, what I'm asking you today is not only yesterday we said, "Who are you really? Like, who am I now?" But today, my question for you is what is it that you absolutely love about yourself? Now, when I say what is it that you love about yourself, I am not saying I love that I'm a wife and mother. Yep, I put that yesterday that I'm a wife and mother. That's external to me. I am talking about internal, the characteristics and traits that you have that you especially have been given that are unique to you. What is it? What is it that you absolutely love about you? And you can answer that question any way that you want. I want you to think, what is it that I love about me? And this is one of those questions where I do want you to really focus on putting what comes first to your mind. You're going to put that on day 4 on that line. What do I love about me? And then you're going to answer it initially, but reflect on it all day. And actually, on this one, don't ask anybody else because this love, this has to come from this internal deep place that absolutely says, I love this about me. And so when you get to the end of the day today, I want you to go back to that statement. Go back to that statement. And as you go back to that statement, I want to say, you ask yourself again, what is it that I love about me? And complete that statement for me. Now, yesterday we had some technology issues, and I wasn't able to show you a graphic that I want to show you really quick right now because I think it speaks to and gets to this whole issue. Um, it's this idea, and you see we're up there. I'm sorry about that, y'all. Okay, there it is. It's the wholehearted connections model that we talked about, that you have this external help that are your friends and family, your okay. You have this external connection that are your friends and family, life coaches, and counselors. These are the people that surround you. But at the very, very center of this, at the center of this is you. And this idea that you have to have a connection with yourself. And we're defining that as personal awareness, empowerment, care, confidence, and vision that can lead, center, ground, and inspire us as we pursue our purpose and passion. Um, I'm not sure. I'm hoping, I'm a little nervous. I'm hoping that you can actually see this well enough. Okay. So, again, I want to say it again. I want to say it again that self is personal awareness, empowerment, care, confidence, and vision that can lead, center, ground, and inspire us as we pursue our purpose and passion. Why did I have to emphasize that again? Because when you set a resolution for the year, it is all about your purpose and passion, right? And you're setting it with this idea that I want to achieve it. But if we don't have a love and appreciation of ourselves, if we don't have a sense of ourselves, if we don't make ourselves first in this process, then it absolutely will not happen. One of the things we talk about at the Whole Heart Center is that we often say, who takes care of the person who takes care of everyone else? And the answer is you've got to do it. No one else is going to step into that role. You're responsible. And in being responsible, you become a great role model for other people. If you want your children and your nieces and your nephews and other family members to emulate you, show them how you can love and take care of you, how you can be centered in you in a way that is really, really powerful. I think part of the reason that we have this mentality that we push away compliments and we say, oh, no, not us, is because we've been taught this false sense of humility. And that humility is, oh, I'm not focused on me. I'm not going to be self centered. I watched people go through this process in 2024, where by the end of the year, I saw a lot of people say, you know what, for the first time ever, I'm going to focus on me. Here I am, Denise Rollins. I've always worried about, let me take care of everybody else in my life. And for the first time, I'm saying, I cannot put my sons first. I can't put my husband first. I cannot put anybody first because if I don't take care of me, there will be no me. What I was learning is I was pushing myself in this false sense of serving others before me so hard that I wasn't able to really and fully appreciate, enjoy life, and be the role model that I needed to be. So this 21 days for life to life, y'all, it's not just for you. It's for me too, because I want to work through this process where I learn to love, take care of, and guide me so that I could be a better guide for you. So that takes me back to our question. It is the question we have for today is, I want to read it right, is um, what is it that you absolutely love about yourself? You could do three characteristics, you could do more, but I want to know, what is it? What are the characteristics, these internal things that you have been given and you've been blessed with? What is it that you love about yourself? And remember, when we come back tomorrow, we'll take days 3 and 4 and combine that into a power statement, because we're going to remind ourselves of this all year. We're going to speak life, living intentionally, fearlessly, and expectantly into ourselves so that we can speak life into those around us. All right. So we've had a good time to get here together today. I thank you for making comments. If there's any questions you have for us, please let us know. Before I leave, though, I want to tell you something. In the last couple of days at the Whole Heart Center, we have gotten countless messages from people saying that this process has absolutely helped them. They are telling us why they decided to be part of this process and what it is doing for them. Can I tell you that that's speaking life into us? There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes trying to put this on. It involves a level of vulnerability and risk, but it is absolutely worth it if only one of you responded and said, this is helping us. So I just want to say to those who have commented already, thank you. I want to say to those who continue to be part of this process, thank you. I want to say to those of you who are just joining us, it's easy to make up the 3 days. So just go. You can see the past um, videos on YouTube and also on Facebook. So make sure that you go in and make up for anything that you've missed. And I also will say, because you never know who tunes in today, who maybe needs a word of encouragement or needs to be connected to other people. If you need that, if you need that community, number one, um, our administrator Precious has created a special Facebook group so that you can have a safe space so we can share throughout the day. So if you're not part of that, let us know. We'll make sure that you are part of it. But number two, that we at the Whole Heart Center, this is the reason why we exist. We say we are there to help people learn, grow, and heal together. And so if you feel alone and you need the connection to someone else, then please don't hesitate to reach out. Go to our Facebook page, call us, or email us. If you go to page 6 of the guide that you were given, it gives you all of our contact information, and it also gives you a notes page. And on those notes, if there's any great ahas that come, if you say these are my action items or this is what I need, I would ask that you record it there. All right. You enjoy the rest of this fourth day of January 2025. We send you love, we send you light, and we send you life. And we are going to see you again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Now, look, some of y'all going to be in church, so you're going to miss us. Don't come and see us instead of going to church. Go to church and then go to YouTube or Facebook and watch us afterwards. We thank you, and we will see you tomorrow.
Gotcha.
Okay, I was trying to make it to the